So, with the Trailblazer beta running on PC this weekend for the Scoring System 2.0, True Horns on Water Buffalo, the changes to weapon and animal classes, I thought I'd kind of do a video trying to go over everything that's kind of being changed that will come to the Hunter Call of the Wild when this update is officially released. And first I wanted to actually kind of take a look at the True Horns on Water Buffalo, so we're hopefully going to go find a couple of them, just so you can kind of see what we're looking at for those when they come out, and then we'll look at some of the other changes as well. So we got a level 5 male aggressive. Now most of the small ones look pretty much the same as the old ones. And you'll actually see here in a minute the completely kind of revamped harvest screen. So we have like the trophy rating, the kind of metal thing is over here, there's harvest checks. We're going to go over all of that in a little bit, but this is maybe like a little bigger than what a level 5 would have been in the past. But most of the small ones are pretty much the same, which I think is good. I think the legacy horns for Water Buffalo were pretty accurate. So this is where things start to change. That's a level 7, and it has at least very similar to the old kind of small legendary horns. So they're really going to be a lot bigger, and if we can find a diamond kind of rack just so you can see it, I do want to hopefully get to show you that. But one of the changes is the fact that there's no longer a quick kill bonus. So I am going to purposely shoot that in one lung with a one shot, and we're still going to get the full score out of it. So again, I'm going to explain more of that in a little bit, but it's kind of cool that you can do that because, I mean, realistically, you can't ask for much more than a lung shot. Obviously, if you could get through to both lungs, that would be nice, but I do kind of appreciate the fact that they're kind of going that route. And there's a 6, you can see like that's a little bit bigger than the old 6s would have been. But definitely once you get into that 7 area, at least in the beta, I don't know if that's going to change, they really start to look huge. But yeah, if you just look at these harvest checks quickly, it says all checks successfully passed, and that's all you got to do to get the full score. Now, there is no like total score anymore, it's just the trophy rating and the medal you get over here. But yeah, I mean, that's a 7, and it looks just massive. Alright, so apparently more aggression. Now, I actually really like these horns. And I don't know if I got a lung, but you're allowed up to 2 shots, so at least I can show that as well. That time we're definitely going to get a lung, so we just got to run around and avoid him, hopefully, till he dies. There we go. And do I have a medkit? Just so I don't die. But we shot him twice. And once again, we have all checks successfully passed. So we still got the full score out of this level 6. But I kind of like these horns that sort of dip down. Like, I feel like I've definitely seen those for Water Buffalo. And that's not something that ever happened with Legacy Racks. So that I do like. So right up here somewhere is one of the biggest Water Buffalo I've seen, but it's a level 6 female, and I don't really like that. I hope that's just a beta thing, but at least for now it's going to give us the opportunity probably to see kind of what the diamond horns are going to look like for the bigger ones. So that's her, and I think I can get a heart shot. Just because we can take 2 shots anyway, and there's no like quick kill, but it looks like she dropped. There's hunting pressure there. But yeah, like, if we missed that, she could just run off, and then we could just get a lung shot when she comes back and still get the full score. But this is actually going to be a diamond. So yeah, 196 trophy rating, 191.7 I believe is the minimum for Diamond Water Buffalo. I really don't like the females can make diamonds, so hopefully that gets fixed. But as far as like seeing what the horns are and stuff, I think that's good. Just so we can see what we're potentially dealing with. And if this was like a level 9, I'd definitely be happy. But yeah, there's that 191.7 that we need in the trophy rating. So they're probably going to get a lot bigger. That's not much over the 191, but at least for, you know, kind of seeing what they look like, that at least is impressive. So next I want to talk about the changes to the weapon and animal classes, and they make a lot more sense now. So if we go into our codex, we'll just look at access tier since that's on top and that's a species on this map. They're a weapon class 3. We can go to Water Buffalo all the way at the bottom. They are a class 9. And then we look at our ammo. We have, say, the 30-06, which is for anything which is a weapon class 4 through 8. 300 is going to be 7 through 9. 762 is 2 through 6. And 22 is the weapon class 1. So actually, those 4 weapons can cover literally every animal in the game. Now Fox and Musk Deer, I believe, are a class 2, if we can find both of those. Now I'm stuck running in place, but we need Red Fox. They're a class 2. and musk deer, also a class 2. So that's actually quite a cool change. We're going to be able to use slightly bigger weapons on some of those animals, and it's not going to be such like a big deal of trying to make sure you get every weapon necessary. But EW also provided us with these couple of kind of charts to show us what the weapon class you need for a particular animal is, what trophy rating you need for diamond, and we actually have a spreadsheet of that in the Discord where it's all kind of converted into one place quite nicely. So if you want to check that out, the link to the Discord is in the description below. But as far as those changes go, I think it's a really good idea. And lastly, I wanted to go over all the changes to the harvest screen and just kind of try to explain what everything means so you guys know what you're looking at. But I found this albino water buffalo yesterday. I thought it would be a good kill to do this with just because it's pretty cool to run into. And we're just going to go for the same thing. Just get a lung shot in there because there's no quick kill bonus anymore. We don't need to worry about the animal dying in 8 seconds. It's just going to be, if you recover the animal, you get it. And I don't know how I feel about that, and I'm curious what you guys think as well. But that's kind of how Classic handles it. I sort of regard Classic's, you know, style as a hunting game to be one of the best, so I'm pretty happy with it working that way. And as far as real life goes, if you find the animal, you got it. So I think I'm cool with that, but I do want to know what you guys' opinion is in the comments. But let's just look at all the different things here on the harvest screen real quick. And just starting at the top as far as new stuff goes, so we have the class of the animal up there in the top left. We have the trophy organs, which is the skull for almost every species. I'll get into those more in just a moment. We have the kind of medal score there on the left. The actual trophy rating is listed just beside that, and of course that's the thing that actually decides basically what your medal is. Then you have the actual different requirements for different like sizes for the trophy rating. If you mouse over that, you have the harvest checks, which are all kind of listed there, and you can mouse over those and see what you actually have to do for all the different harvests. And again, I'll kind of go over that in a minute. Then we have on the bottom the XP, the cash, and the session score, and you can mouse over all of those as well and actually kind of see what sort of went into determining that number. So now let's explain some things. So we talked about the trophy organs being the skull for almost every species, and essentially one of your harvest checks is that you can't damage the trophy organs. And I think the idea is basically, let's say for the water buffalo, since we're looking at one, if you shot them in the head, there's a chance you could maybe damage the horns. And I think that's what they're kind of trying to go with that. So basically for every species that's not, I would say, fox, coyote, rabbits, or ducks, brain shots are not going to really be a good idea if you want to get the entire score out of them, because that is going to damage that skull trophy organ, because everything from basically any animal that has antlers or horns, then you have bears and wolves, stuff like that that's scored by their skull. All of those, if you shoot them in the brain, you're going to go through the skull and lose that extra bonus. So that's what the trophy organs is talking about. And basically with all those harvest checks, if you lose one of them, you go down like a medal level. So if you shot what should have been a diamond, say in the brain, because that would damage the trophy organs, you'd be down to just a gold. So there's no like score that it changes, it's just that medal. And then we have the other two harvest checks. So one of them, of course, is just the shot less than 2 times. That one's very self-explanatory. And the other one is really just making sure you use the right ammo type. And that goes back to the integrity charts and all that stuff that we looked at a little bit earlier. So the only real bonus that kind of isn't self-explanatory is that trophy organs thing, and you just can't really shoot them in the skull. That's kind of what that comes down to for almost everything. So that's those. And then, of course, we have the cash and the XP and stuff. Those are pretty self-explanatory. There's the different numbers that go into them. I don't think I need to explain that too much. There is like a quick kill and a consecutive harvest kind of hidden bonus that you don't see anywhere that actually does affect your cash and XP, but that's not like anywhere specifically listed. I don't know if it still works the same as it used to, but that is actually there. Now, the session score we actually found out on the stream is essentially like a balanced score for multiplayer. So if you're in a multiplayer game and you're kind of like competing with your friends or whatever to see who can get the highest total score, in the past that score was just like the score of all your animals. But now it's kind of balanced so that things like ducks and rabbits that you can shoot a lot of really quickly get a much lower session score than some of the bigger animals, say like water buffalo. Now, as far as I could tell, 1000 is the maximum session score. I don't know if that's maybe like a diamond of one of those larger animals like water buffalo or what actually does that, but I think that's basically as high as you can get with the session score. So all that's really interesting. Very big changes as far as Call of the Wild goes, and again, I'm interested to hear what you guys think about all this. But from my experience in the beta, I'm pretty happy with the scoring. Other than the water buffalo, I don't understand why there's so many diamonds and diamond level 6 females and all that stuff. I hope that gets fixed before it is officially released. But everything else I'm pretty happy with. I think it's actually a pretty good system. I said earlier, I'm quite partial to the way that Classic kind of handles all that stuff, and Call of the Wild's kind of moving that way a little bit, in my opinion. So that I'm pretty happy about. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.